Again, now how to tackle this? A axis line, that line goes, the line of the upper shoulder, upper arm, lower arm gets almost on a straight line, goes to the middle of the leg, and then this line, the axis line, goes to that leg here, right there. So let's go and draw that good model here that we have today. Head, axis line, line here, that axis line connects with the upper thigh, and then this one goes like that. Let's go for it. Hello again to our Tuesday drawing lesson class, and today we'll have a little bit of a long pose, but it's a beautiful model as usual. Now let's get the as I said at the beginning of the video, there is a amazing movement of this model, which is the head. I will exaggerate properly a little bit. You have the head here, and from here, from the shoulder, this shoulder, her right is coming down here, that's going up, so that's the bicep. You have the axis line here, moving right there to her thigh. Then you have the hip, which is at the same angle or horizontal line to the hip or the elbow. Here I've got the left shoulder higher, and right here are her fingers, which I'm not going to draw now because at the moment I'm more focused on the movement of the model. Then you have the rib cage, breast, rib cage. Here it's the hip. Hip is right at the same horizontal line as the elbow. Here I have the thigh, a little bit more to the right, that line, and maybe getting the thigh a little bit more to the left here. Then hips are, that's the hip area, and it is, the girl is now on a perspective pose. Here, that line, it's roughly at the same line. So if I continue with the elbow here, I have the thigh up here, then the thigh on the lower part down here, and I have now the calf, kneecap, shin, and this is the thigh, right thigh, and here that's the line of the thigh. Here I have, they're pretty much at the same angle. How that can be? No, it's not. This is the, I was looking at the kneecap, and that kneecap here, they are almost at the same horizontal line, but they're not. That's slightly lower, but it's pretty much at the same angle, roughly, if you like. Okay, so this is the movement of the girl, and I think I've done her wider than she actually is. And this is the rib cage here, that's the hip, that's the other side of the hip, and the rib cage, shoulder, upper arm, and I could go up a little bit with this, with the elbow, but I think it's actually lower, it's not higher. And let me see, and that's the belly button, and that's, yes. Let me go again. So the line of the belly button is, maybe the belly button is up here. So, I'm not going to move that now. I'm leaving that where it is now for the time being, because I don't know if it's correct or not. It will come up onto different measurements that I'm going to do, if that's correct or not. And then you have that line, which continues with the fingers. That's a horizontal line. So the tip of the finger is actually here. That's let's say ring finger here, small finger there, palm, upper arm. Sorry, upper arm is here. Then you have the portrait. She's looking to the right. Chin, jaw, head, neck. Now that's the shoulder there, but I don't see the shoulder. Or we don't actually see the shoulder, because the shoulder, it's behind her upper and lower arm. Okay, hip again. Then you have that side of the leg, or this side of the leg is in shadow. So from roughly vertically from the armpit, vertically, I'm here now, which is the middle of the leg, or the shadow at least. And I have a shadow, dark tone here. And that is because the light is coming from her right. From her right, yes. And you have a little bit of cast shadow from this leg, which is her left leg. And then you have the thigh here, there. And let me see, on a vertical line, she's a bit thinner here, thinner on the hip. I mean that distance from left to right. Then you have the hip again, rib cage, her bra, here, there, and crotch area. All this area, it's a soft, it's a dark tone, but I'm going to go softly at least now. This is her bicep. Is that bicep? Must be. And this is her lower, calf and shin, obviously. Now we don't see the foot because the foot is not shown on the picture, on the original picture, so somehow that makes it slightly easier. Although it's a difficult pose, I must admit, but very pretty pose, very dynamic, more than pretty. Darker tone, and that's the armpit. And the whole thing here, from the rib cage to the armpit, is darker. And neck area, and portrait, I have leaned the face a little bit more than it should be, but I like to exaggerate most of the time, so because it makes the pose a little bit more interesting, although it's a very interesting pose anyway. And I have a shadow here. So that's the light, as I said, comes from her right. So that means that all this area is slightly darker. And this is exactly where the change of the light comes from. So it's right here on the nose. Sorry, that's Milo eating, it's not me. Or it's not a small rat here. It's Milo eating his food. If you hear the noise. Okay, that's the eyes looking to her right again, and a line for the lip because it's not. God, it looks like a robot. Not now. It's not a portrait, so I'm not going to concentrate too much on the likeness. And now the ear is up here. Then you have hairline, top of the head. There. Okay, now it's the neck. And I'm going now softly, but surely we need to start and create some soft tones on her body. And here, look, a tip to make the body jump. I've said that many times, but I repeat it as many times as needed. We darken a little bit more the background. Voila. Aquí estamos in Spanish. Okay. Then you have the pants and the soft dark tone on the crotch area. Here I have a muscle, the bicep. Did I say bicep? No, it's not bicep. Anyway, anatomy. I need some anatomy classes. And a darker tone. The whole of the thigh, kneecap, and a dark tone all the way down. There we are, and that's the sheen area. Here I need to go a little bit more brave, to be a bit more brave. And then you have the kneecap here and the dark tone there. And let's go and highlight this line, because this is a line. You can have many, many lines here where her hip or hip ends or starts, depending. It starts here and ends here. No, that's actually the bottom area. And then you have that line which is darkened, or I've darkened it to make it, to make that, to emphasize it, to emphasize the hip here. And then you have the dark tone of the background and darker tone. Again, another tip, the same tip as is used here. So that will make the body pop, 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 pop. Darker tone again. And here, her arm, upper arm, I'm blending the shadow of the upper arm with the background, because actually it looks like that. So that line of the upper arm is not important, because it's actually blended beautifully with the background. So give it a darker tone, darker tone, darker tone, darker tone, blah, 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 there. And I'm blending, merging all the background and the shadow of the upper arm. On the portrait, I need to do the same thing because she looks a bit robotic. So I need to warm up the face with those shadows. and neck, and a little bit of a line for the shoulder here, there, and a darker tone which separates the light from the upper arm, lower arm, palm. The palm is actually dark. I'm going fearlessly here, a very dark tone, and horizontally the little finger goes right there, which I've done it at the beginning, but I'm double checking, triple checking. Is that many times checking? What's the word? Doesn't matter. And then you have middle finger and the index finger, which we don't actually see here. Okay, and a little bit dark tone here, and blend the lower, blend the shin with the background, because we said it's not important. In this pose, it's the movement more than anything else, and we don't have foot. Now on a vertical line, there from the nose, wow, to the crotch area. I got that right with the first time. Is that possible? That's a coincidence. Most of the time it's coincidence because it's such a difficult pose and it's so many measurements are involved here. So that's vertically that goes like this. Down, crotch area. Wow, I got that right. That's because I like the model. Actually, yes, it's not funny because it's true. Sometimes you like the model a lot and then you work more focused on what's going on. You're more focused. Sorry about this annoying noise. Here I have got the pants here. Pants. There. Okie dokie. Now, what's important here, actually is very important, another key element of this pose is the dark tone of her elbow. There. Horizontally goes right in between, under her bra and above the rib cage. So I got that right too. Bit of a dark tone. And I'm exaggerating, I'm making it bigger. I mean, bicep, fingers, in small finger, middle finger here, ring finger, all of them. And that's a dark tone. It's a dark tone here on the lower arm. And a darkish tone on the bicep. There we are. Okay, now let's concentrate on the leg and we're done because I don't want to keep that too long. It's actually a leg. I'm going to call it leg study because I like that. How the leg, those crucial points which are here. You got the knee cup, muscle of the thigh, and the dark tonal value of the whole thigh. Okay. Hello, back again. So let's get some darks going on here on our drawing, and let's focus a little bit on the mark makings here on the leg. And this is basically paper towel. I've just dipped it onto some charcoal dust, and that's how I'm getting these darks here. Now, why I'm doing this? Because my fingers will be probably too dark. and the paper towel has more or absorbs more darks, so I can go for longer with a paper towel than I can go with my fingers. So a dark tonal value here on the kneecap, and these are the areas where I need to focus more to work on that leg here. And you have half tone here, and the dark tonal value of the background, and that will make the leg pop even more. Then you have those darks here, the kneecap, which gets merged with the background, kneecap again, soft tonal value on the muscle mass, the mass of the muscle, crotch area, darker tonal value here again, and getting darker here. That makes creates more volume by doing this. And that dark tone, which is the upper muscle of the thigh, merges beautifully with those dark tones down here of the leg. There, we have the crotch area here. So now I'm using my fingers instead of using my putty rubber, which will be probably too bright. Fingers is a better choice. And again, finger working here on that reflected light of the thigh below. And if I soften those darks, then it's too close to the finishing line. Because this is what I wanted. I wanted the movement, which I do have. I wanted the perspective, which we do have. And the shadows, which I'm doing it now. Now, all these lines which are on the top of the figure, in the sense that they go back. God, sorry about that. Okay, those lines which are on the top of the figure, they are the lines which are merging with the background. So if I come and do those lines a little bit softer, then the eye will concentrate down here, which is where I want the eye to be concentrated. And darken this as well. That dark tone of the lower arm blends with the background. Here we are. Now get the paper towel on this side, which is not as dark, cleaner side, and bring those soft tonal values here on the belly. Now, I'm going to do it with my finger now, but to see how dark my finger is, I come here first on the background. Now I can come and create the muscles here on the belly button, which is somewhere here, and a little bit of a darker tonal value here on the rib cage. There we are. Darker tone. Cast shadow of the upper arm onto the shoulder, softer tonal value here, softer line up here, because these are the lines which are, as I said, they need to be soft to blend with the background, and I can go a little bit darker down here, which is where my area of interest is because of the perspective. These two legs are the closest to us. And just keep that kind of abstract. Emphasize the light and get the other, and get all the rest of the leg like that, softly blending with the background. Of lines on the head, get the hair out of the ear a little bit more. That creates movement. You see what I'm doing here on purpose? That creates movement. So the head was here and then it went there. It moved to the right. And softer edges of the ear. Softer edges on the chin. There we are. That's good. Now, with a little bit of putty rubber, and then clear up the bright areas. Forehead, not too bright, because I want the brightest to be down here. Emphasis on the gluteus, although I don't see it, but we see a little bit. Light, some reflected light here on the upper, reflected light on the rib cage, and light tone up here, light tone up here, lighter tone here, lighter tone on the palm of the arm, of the palm, light tone on the lower arm, and some bright light tone here, right here. Let the rest be darker, and some highlight here, which is the tendon of the foot. Well, not the foot, but the leg, the whole leg. Less dark tones here, and we are pretty much done with this good model here. Lighter tone on the neck. And lighter tone here on the shoulder, and a little bit of a light tone on the crotch area, and we're done. We are done with this model. Okay, see you on the next one. Hasta luego. Hold on, before I go. Softer. Here. And softer here, softer turn here. A little bit lighter here. And see you on the next one. One more thing. Boing, boing. Okay, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.